In today's society, being child free is often stigmatized and misunderstood. But is it really a bad thing? In this video, we're going to flip the script and explore why there's nothing wrong with being child free by choice. We're diving into the benefits of not having children. Whether you're child free by choice or circumstance, this video is for anyone who's ever felt judged or misunderstood for their decision. So let's challenge the status quo and celebrate the perks of being child free. Now, before we jump into this conversation, if you are a man, exit stage left expeditiously from this conversation. All right. It truly does not concern you. Everything that I'm getting ready to discuss is literally things that the woman is going to have to do by herself, such as carry the child. You're not the one that's carrying the child. That's definitely not you. That's the woman. Or in the unfortunate event that the relationship does not work out, the woman is typically responsible for carrying on the burdens and responsibilities of taking care of the children. So, again, this is your moment to exit stage left expeditiously. All right. So, now that we have that out of the way, ladies, let's talk. All right. One of the main reasons why I'm doing this video is because I'm having one too many conversations with talented, amazing women who are on the fence about having children or don't want to have children, but are getting pressure from their family and friends to do so. I'm especially thinking about the conversations I've had with women in their late 20s to mid 30s. Okay. Having children is a huge responsibility and it should not be taken lightly. Having children is a lifetime commitment. And so I want you to know, okay, that I'm sharing my perspective in deciding to be child free by choice from a 42-year-old single Christian woman. Okay. That's my perspective. Okay. Just in case you're wondering, I really don't even think I should have to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. I do not hate children. And I'm not against marriage in any way, shape, or form. So I'm not throwing shade at anyone's decision to get married or have children. Okay. You do you. And to be quite honest, if I found the right guy, I'd be open to marriage, but I have no desire to have children whatsoever. Okay. I'm a Christian woman who has intentionally decided to live a child free life. Now, I'm well aware that what I just said may seem like an oxymoron to some Christians. Okay. Unfortunately, that's because there seems to be some unspoken cultural and church expectations around motherhood, okay, that seem to exist. But I want to explore this topic from the following angles of purpose, identity, misconceptions, and freedom. Let's tackle purpose first. Okay. So if you want to have children, then just have them. Okay. But please stop using the Bible as an excuse to justify your decision. And if you want to get technical and share scriptures, then be sure to share the scriptures that affirm a woman's identity and purpose outside of childbearing. So, for example, Jeremiah chapter 29:11, God's plans for hope in a future. First Corinthians chapter 7, verses 32 through 35, Paul's teaching on singleness and undivided devotion to God. In Proverbs 31, even, she's a woman of virtue with enterprise and influence, not just family duties. Okay. Too many people are focused on having children, and this is wrong and narrow minded. Let's talk about a different kind of fruitfulness, the kind that lasts for eternity. In today's culture, and even in church circles, there's a quiet, well, sometimes not so quiet, right? Assumption that motherhood automatically equates to spiritual maturity or greater worth in God's eyes. But let's be clear, God doesn't rank holiness based on diapers or last names. All right. Being a mother is beautiful, but so is being single. So is being child free, especially when you're walking in your purpose. God isn't keeping a tally of how many children you've birthed. Okay. He's measuring something deeper, your spiritual fruit. Are you showing love when it's hard? Are you walking in peace when the world is in chaos? Are you sowing joy, kindness, and truth into the lives of others? That's the kind of legacy that advances God's kingdom. Some women are raising kids, others are like me, raising hope, building communities, creating resources, and mentoring the next generation and planting seeds of faith in places kids may never go. So if you've ever felt less than enough because you're not a mom, let that lie go. Okay. God's looking at your impact, not your family tree. Number two, let's take a look at our identity. Okay. So in Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10, the Bible states that we're created for good works. Did you notice that? I said works. God said works, not work. This means that we're not confined to just one role. And this is why my worth and purpose are rooted in being a child of God, not in biological motherhood. Okay. Again, nothing wrong with being a mom, but that is not everyone's calling. And so, knowing that my calling was not a conference call, but a private conversation between me and God, we're the only ones that need to know how He wants me to lead my life. Choosing a child free life is not rejection of children, but obedience to God's unique plan for me. And I serve, I mentor, I nurture, and lead in other impactful ways. So, for example, I host the Hustle and Faith podcast, what you are listening to right now. I'm about to start a membership community called Starring You, which is going to help women, especially women over 40, leverage their expertise so they can create content that will make an impact as well. I recently wrote a book called How to Live an Extraordinary Life with or Without Mr. Right, and that has a workbook as well. And my most recent endeavor that I never foresaw on my bingo card is exposing the incredibly obvious corruption taking place at the Chicago Circuit Court of Cook County in Illinois. Okay. Judges are ignoring evidence, HOAs are acting like mobs, and homeowners are being stripped of their rights and property with no accountability. And that's a whole other subject discussion. That's a whole nother discussion to begin with. Okay. But if you want to learn more about that, I will leave that a link to that video in the description. Okay. I said all that to say this. There's more than one way to make an impact in this world. And I've always made it my mission to choose the path that aligns with what God wants for me, not what I think other people expect from me. Now, even though never have I ever, in any way, shape, or form, made a negative comment about a woman choosing to have children. When men and women find out that I don't have any children, I get some of the craziest, unsolicited feedback. And all I said was, no, I don't have any children. Just so you know, my clapback game is strong. So if you don't want to end up looking crazy or leaving the conversation feeling sad or some sort of way because I told you off, then I want you to keep those comments to yourself. Okay. For real. It's for your own good. Um, so here are some of the negative comments, which are attempts to make me feel bad about my decision to be intentionally child free. All right. Misconception number one. You're going to regret it when you get older. Here's my response. God is honoring my desire to live an extraordinary life. And my peace comes from walking in his purpose for me. Okay. Unlike you, I'm not out here having children because I have a desire to have a built in caretaker for when I'm old. Okay. That's silly for a variety of reasons. One, if I can't fend for myself, I have no desire to be here. And I truly mean that. Okay. God can take me home right then and there because I don't want to have anyone, I don't want to depend on anyone to help me. And I truly mean that. And number two, and this is equally as important as number one, your kids may not be aligned with your desire for them to take care of you. Okay. And you yourself may end up in a nursing home because there's a lot of irony in that because this is exactly the same place that many people who have children tell those who don't have children that that's where they're going to end up. A lot of irony there. Misconception number two. "Ugh, you're just so selfish." What? Like, no, I'm not selfish. Selfish is choosing to have children knowing full well that you are not in a position or have a desire to take care of them. You're just out here having children because that's what everyone expects you to do. So then you pawn off your responsibility on everyone else, like your parents, your friends, the school system, or village, and expect them to pitch in to help raise your child. Mm-mm. Choosing not to have children doesn't mean I'm selfish. It means that I'm so self aware that I know who I am and God's plans for me. And comments like yours will never get me to change my mind. And here's the last misconception I'm going to share with you. Okay. You're just missing out on a blessing. Okay. God's blessings are not one size fits all. All right. What you consider a blessing is what I would consider a burden. A burden simply because I know this is not what God has called for me to do. Plus, the main people who have said things like this to me are always complaining about their little blessings. Okay. Like I can tell they're miserable and they want me to be miserable too. And that's just not going to happen. No thanks. Hard pass. I'm good. Okay. I want you to enjoy your blessings while I enjoy mine. Okay. My blessing is the ability to travel the world, meet awesome people, and use my platform to share their stories. Which brings me to my final point. I truly cherish my physical and spiritual freedom. Okay. I'm not bound by society's timelines or expectations. I walk in alignment with God's purpose for my life, not the noise of an ever changing culture. That alignment that I have with God has brought me deep joy, lasting peace, and a level of productivity I never imagined possible. Living this way has freed me to thrive, not just exist. And so, if you're a woman that's on the fence about having children or tired of feeling uncomfortable about your decision to be child free, I want you to know that you're not broken, you are not disobedient or incomplete if you don't desire children. I want you to walk boldly in your calling without shame. Surround yourself with people who affirm your purpose and do not pressure you onto a path that you were never meant to go down in the first place. Do not allow people to convince you that living child free as a Christian is wrong. God knows the desires of my heart and he knows the desires of your heart. And his plan is always better than cultural expectations. Okay. I'm not just child free, I'm Christ filled, purpose led, and kingdom driven. And so I truly hope that this message resonated with you. And if it did, I want to invite you to the Cherished and Chosen Challenge. It's a free 7-day challenge for single women, whether you're healing from heartbreak, redefining your identity, or reigniting your purpose. This challenge is going to help you see yourself the way that God sees you: cherished, chosen, and called for more. It's free. Once again, it's free. And you can participate either by email or audio. And in case you're curious what I mean by audio, that means that you can listen to the challenge the same way that you would listen to a podcast. Okay. So think of it as a private podcast. So go ahead and sign up for the challenge. And by the way, check out my new book. All right. How to Live an Extraordinary Life with or Without Mr. Right. And so you can get this book wherever books are sold. You can get it at Amazon. You can get it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. But the audiobook is exclusively available on my website. And again, you can listen to that as a private podcast feed on your favorite podcast directory like Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. All right. So all of this information is going to be in the description. Once again, don't live your life for someone else. Focus on living it God's way. And remember, if you're everything to everyone, then you risk being no one. You never know who you will inspire. See you in the next video. Burnt out? Or just one breakthrough away from clarity? Join 5 Ways to Turn Burnout into Breakthrough Content, a free workshop designed to help you turn frustration into fuel and create content that actually connects. You'll walk away with fresh content ideas, a system to help avoid burnout, and the confidence to share your message with purpose. Let's reignite your creativity. Sign up at staringyou.com today.